Hey folks, welcome to the Flipside. Welcome to our top 5, or rather my top 5. You can tell JT isn't here. He's on vacation right now, so unfortunately we're not going to be able to hear from him today, but you'll just have to put up with me for a few minutes. This is my top 5 expansions. Now, I also have my bottom 5 expansions over on the Dice Tower. You can go check that out. There is a link in the description below if you have not yet already done so. And basically what I explained over there is that I have tried to stay away from standalone expansions. That is going to be probably a different list that JT and I can maybe try to tackle together. But this one is expansions that you need the base game to play. So there aren't going to be standalone expansions in here. I tried to stay away from them, so don't expect any of those. These are expansions that need the core game, and this is my top 5. So without further ado, let's hit it. So my number 5 is for a game that I don't actually even have that much of an affinity for the theme, and it is a horror theme game. I'm not a huge fan of horror, so it's just not one of those things. But one of the reasons why I like it so much is because it takes a little bit of a softer feel on that horror theme, and this is Final Girl, the North Pole Nightmare. Now, the cool thing about this one is that you're basically going to be, the final girl is going to be Mrs. Claus or a super buff female elf, and you're going to be fighting against Krampus. So I like Dice Throne, where you can take Santa Claus against Krampus. This is kind of the same thing, but it's Final Girl, and you're taking Mrs. Claus against Krampus, and it kind of softens that horror theme just a little bit, and that's one of the reasons why it's my favorite expansion for Final Girl. It doesn't hurt that the artwork is by Vincent Dutrait, which is my favorite board game artist. But this is a really cool expansion for the fact that it lessens that horror theme just a little bit, so that it's a little bit more palatable to me. But that's my number 5, Final Girl, a great game in and of itself. And each of the different modules, each of the different expansions that you can purchase for that core set is really cool, but this one, my favorite. My number 4 are the expansions for Heat, Pedal to the Metal, both Heavy Rain and Tunnel Vision. And the reason I'm kind of lumping them both in here is because they both do pretty much the same thing. Just a little bit different on each one. First of all, it gives you more stuff to do in your championship series that you can run. It gives you 2 more years for that. It gives you 2 more boards each. They're one double-sided board, so it gets 2 more racetracks each. And then it also provides an extra car in each of those boxes. One has the orange car and the other one has the purple car. And so it gives you 2 more player colors with both of them together. This is the kind of expansion that I think really makes a great kind of expansion, where it doesn't really add much by way of mechanisms or how you play the game. It simply adds some nuances and gives you more of what you already enjoy. And that's what I really think is necessary for a great expansion. It takes what you already like and gives you more of it. So that's my number 4, Heat, Pedal to the Metal, both Heavy Rain and Tunnel Vision. I know it's a little cheeky, just run with it. My number 3 was kind of a surprise because I really did enjoy the base game, fine and dandy all by its lonesome. I enjoyed the abstract quality of the strategy and the 2-player nature of it. But Riddle of the Sphinx for Santorini really made a competitive game a very enjoyable cooperative game. And it also made it a solo game because you can play the cooperative mode in a solo way, and it does very well with multiple players or with just yourself. And that's what I really enjoy about it. It took that competitive thing and made it into a cooperative thing without losing much of the feel of the original game. Sure, you're working together, you're not competing anymore, I get that, but you're working together and you're competing against something else. And that's one of the cool things about it. Each chapter of the game is a different riddle that you have to solve in a certain number of times. And how well you do is based upon how long or how quickly you're able to figure out the puzzle of what that riddle or what that stage of the game is telling you to do. And then you can change and bolster and has that kind of almost like a little bit of a legacy feel to it, or a story campaign feel to it. It's just a great expansion for a great game, and that's why it's my number 3, Santorini Riddle of the Sphinx. My number 2 is specifically 2 mini expansions for my favorite game of all time, Blood Rage. And that is the Gods of Asgard expansion and the Mystics expansion. Both of these together are games, are expansions that I use even when I'm teaching the game to new people. Now, I do modify it a little bit. The way you play with the Gods of Asgard is that you pick 2 gods, and they are the gods that you use throughout the entirety of all 3 ages. I switch that up a little bit, and we use 2 different gods each age so that you can use basically all but 1 or 2 of the gods in every single game that you play. I like that better, but the way you're supposed to play it is that you use 2 for all 3 ages. But what those gods do is they just impose a singular rule to whatever province that they are in when people are interacting in that province. The Mystics also add a couple of miniatures to your pool of miniatures that you can put into, but they're not available to you until you purchase one of those upgrades, one of those Mystics upgrades. It's little tiny rules, and that's why this is one of my favorite things. To have an expansion that I truly believe that you can just teach somebody from the beginning, kind of like it should have been part of the original game. That's the kind of expansion that I really think is a great expansion, when it feels that much a part of the base game to where it's almost, it's just not the same game without it. Those are the kinds of expansions that I really enjoy. And my number 1 expansion is actually, and I know it's cheeky, but I'm just going to do it because I think both of these together, you need to have both of these to really, really, really make this game all that it should have been in its core fashion. But Champions of Midgard, Valhalla, and the Dark Mountains. These are 2 expansions that absolutely need to be part of your Champions of Midgard game. And that's one of the reasons that I put it as my number 1. Champions of Midgard is just fine without Valhalla and the Dark Mountains. But with Valhalla and the Dark Mountains, everything just makes much more sense. From a Viking theme perspective, Valhalla gives you these tokens that when your Vikings die in combat, you can now use them to purchase things in Valhalla, whether it be new scoring opportunities or new powers that you can use throughout the course of the game. Those tokens can be traded in to purchase these different cards that now become part of your tableau. It's a no-brainer. The Dark Mountains also gives you another part of the board that you can go up into the Dark Mountains and fight the Burgessar, and so it gives you more places to go battle, which I think fits well. If I was going to have to narrow it down to just one of these expansions, I would say Valhalla, because it makes it just makes the core game make more sense. So that is my number 1, Champions of Midgard, both Valhalla and Dark Mountains. If you only are going to get one, I would push it towards Valhalla. But I would also say maybe not go to Starbucks a couple of days and get the Dark Mountains too if you're going to get Valhalla. That's all I'm saying. So that is my top 5 expansions. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope it's given you some good information on things you can pick up to spice up your games that you already own. I hope that's the case. Give us a like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this content. Hit that bell icon so that we can be, so that you can be notified when we have more videos coming up, and we'll appreciate you for it. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.